everybody, welcome to another edition of A Chapter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui, and I'm from ReverseThieves.com as well as the Speakeasy Podcast. And this time I'm looking at One Piece, Chapter 737, The Executive Tower. And we start off pretty simple. Once again, Viola, Luffy, and Zoro are up against the giant. We learn that he's basically a stone man, and he can assimilate and control any kind of stone he comes in contact with. And since they're in a stone castle, he is crazy powerful. Because not only is he just a huge, powerful guy, but he has basically the entire scenery of this place at his disposal, and he starts to try to crush them. And boom, boom, boom. We basically skip to the next story. I will notice once again that Kinemon has basically disappeared, which is, once again, very obvious that he was not in any of those panels, so I'm thinking that he's being saved as a trump card. Plus, once again, with Viola, Luffy, and Zoro, this guy has a pretty cool power. He's pretty powerful, and he has a pretty big advantage being able to basically control the entire castle and its shape. You know, that's a pretty big advantage in his favor, but with these three, this guy's so they don't really need Kinemon. He can just basically chillax however he's disguised wherever he is and wait, basically be drawn as that ace up their sleeve. But next we get back to the arena and we get to see Lucy, which we pretty much know as Sabo. And he's kind of impressive. It seems much like Koala that he has learned Fishman karate, because one of the fish with the devil fruit goes right for our poor princess, and she dodges and tries to cut the chain, but by that time Sabo is already on the back of it, which makes him pretty much a target for everybody, because the minute he is that close to the devil's fruit, basically anybody who is anybody starts attacking him. And he gets attacked, and by the chief executive, but Sabo uses his pipe to break his sword, and then he gets pretty much a straight on elbow from Jesus the Burgess, and he basically counters that with a dragon fist and shocks everybody by countering the blow. And definitely, the owner of the arena is like, this isn't the same Lucy, man. His fighting style is completely different. Something's up here. I gotta change my stratagem. But, man, the only thing that made me think is it would actually kind of be cool for Sabo to get the devil fruit and then be kind of the next martial artist. Kind of how we now have two swordsmen with Zoro and Brook. We could have basically Sabo seems so far to be a much more, hand, related martial artist. So basically, Sanji basically only uses his feet, whereas Sabo seems to be more upper body and could have the flame powers That would be a nice contrast. Because, you know, there's not that many common fighting styles left. I mean, once again, you could always be somebody really weird, like, you know, Frankie the Cyborg. And once again, Brooks' kind of musical sword fighting, pretty much being like a sword fighting bard, is definitely different than Zoro's like straight up sword mastery. But and also, you know, Brooks kind of like ghost powers. But yeah, I think that they would be different enough that if he were to join the Straw Hats, and I'm not like he's definitely gonna join the Straw Hats, but if he did, and kind of like was, you know, kind of carrying Ace's legacy, that would be an interesting mix. Plus, it, you know, him kind of inheriting the fire fruit, he'd be a kind of good person to take on, you know, the lava admiral, kind of, you know, win where Ace didn't. That would kind of be a nice synergy. So if someone were to join from this arc, I would not mind it being Sabo, because he's definitely proven himself in this one to definitely have some mad skills. And that's definitely pretty cool. So, well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I kind of have more of a feeling that Sabo is going to go back with Koala and, you know, go back to the Revolutionary Army. But kind of like one of those, you know, bros for life that, you know, somebody who definitely will, you know, come when Luffy needs help. But I'm not sure he's going to join. But it just would be a nice thing if he did. I mean, I could see how he could work in, but you know, if he doesn't join, I wouldn't be super surprised. I mean, really seriously, overall, Rebecca would be my favorite choice, but I think they already have enough swordsmen, and she's probably going to stay in the kingdom after they win, so probably not her either. But it would be interesting. But still haven't, you know, proven that Sabo is Sabo, but definitely get to see what he can do, and it is impressive. And we end the chapter with Usopp and them, you know, heading to the executive tower where Treyball and Sugar are, and we see poor Cavendish waking up and being like, what the heck is going on here? And being stuck in Treyball's goo, and then getting turned into a toy. And we see that he still has like consciousness, but we see that he really can't talk, and that he basically has to always obey his evil masters. And we see a bunch of the other fighters in the arena. You know, they've also basically trapped in their own toy bodies, not, you know, basically slowly losing their memories and, you know, basically losing all of their free will as they, you know, basically go around doing menial tasks in this, you know, toy box. And so yeah, we see a little bit of Treble's powers, a little more of Sugar's powers, and they're both kind of, you know, douchey people. But, you know, they work for Don Flamingo, so what do we expect? And we learn that she loves grapes. So that's what she's always been eating in that little basket. And the fairies' plan is they have this super Tabasco bowl. So if they can get the super Tabasco bowl in her bowl of grapes, then it'll just be so spicy because it's made of like the spiciest spices, basically like that ghost habanero that she'll like scream and pass out, and then hopefully when she's knocked out, all basically by traumatic force, all the toys will turn back into people and regain their memories and basically spark the revolution. And everybody will be, all the people who used to be toys will tell what's been really going on with Don Flamingo, that he set up the king, that he's running these slave mines, and, that he is king of douches. And so, I assume they want, the old Sniper King to slingshot the Super Tabasco ball into her grapes to set this off, which, it's One Piece. That's not going to go perfectly well. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to miss, or who's going to notice them, or, basically if it's going to be the when does she get to, the rigged bowl, and then, what goes wrong with that. Because it's a good plan, but as One Piece has showed, no good plan survives perfectly, the first encounter with the enemy. So I think the real question I have more than anything else, even more than when are we going to find out who Lucy really is, or, how are they going to defeat that stone guy, or what's going back on the Thousand Sunny. It is, how is this plan going to go terribly wrong? And how is Nico Robin going to have to pull this BS out of the fire? Because that's pretty much her main purpose in life. So, and we won't find out next week because One Piece goes on break. But it's One Piece, always quality stuff. If Oda has to take a break, I understand. He puts 110% in, so him only putting in 80% so he can, not die before this manga ends, hopefully. I'll give him all the time that he needs. So, no One Piece next week, but I'll find something to fill in the time. There's plenty of manga out there. Maybe I'll catch up on some Vinland Saga. Maybe I'll catch up on some Fate Extra. Who knows? But whatever it is, it'll be fun. So see you guys next time.